Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to a new crypto update and market update. Because the market is hot, we need to speak about it. Unfortunately, last crypto update I uploaded on the wrong YouTube channel, so this one hasn't gotten an update since 2 weeks. I'm very sorry for that, but let's get into the markets because the markets are hot. So first of all, important Iran, right? We need to speak about Iran. So as you might have followed, Iran will most likely be attacked. It's not that I wish for it, but we look at it from an investor perspective, and it has a big impact on the market, obviously, right? So if Iran gets attacked or not, my moves are VIX long, Tesla short SPX, long oil and long gold, obviously, right? So that's something we need to speak about. I'm not only going to do BTC today because crypto is kind of boring right now. We'll speak about BTC obviously, but we'll do a market update in general, and I'm going to focus on that in the future in general more because I am where the volume is. The volume right now is more, in my opinion, in stocks and options and SPX and metals. So let's speak about it, right? And you guys might have understood that I made a lot of profits and money in metals in the last couple of weeks, and I've said it many times on my value YouTube channel where accidentally I uploaded the crypto update, but the value is more focused on value, and this channel is charts, right? We go into the charts and we share what's on the screen basically, right? But again, what I'm going to focus on especially is VIX long. Why? Because VIX is the volatility index, right? So if markets move because of war or whatever, the VIX is going to shoot out, right? And as you can see, for example, right now, and again, we speak about BTC later, we speak about the most important positions right now, okay? So as I just said, I'm VIX long. So as you can see, this is the volatility index, right? And it's a little bit of a hedge. So if a war should come out, and Trump gave Iran 10 days, so 9 days remaining on stopping their nuclear program and also on their missile program, which most likely around 70%, they won't do it. And if they don't do it, then you know what's going to happen. And that's the US running into Iran, right? And they're already positioning themselves, right? The Navy is here. Everything is right in front of Dubai in the Persian Gulf. So they are stacked, they're waiting, right? And what happens a lot when wars break out, and in general, there's a lot of volatility in the market, right? And war is one of the biggest causes for that, is the VIX tends to go up, right? So you can see my entry over here at 72.9. We are currently up at 22.9. So as you can see, for example, here's my VIX position. CBOE volatility index currently up 12% unrealized gain, right? And then you can obviously see I'm gold long, oil long, silver long, gold long again, and some other stocks where we'll speak about them in a second, right? And that's one of my portfolios. Then I have the other one on Trading 212. Let's even see if I'm in and locked in on Trading 212. I guess I am. Perfect. So as you can see also here, I'm currently long wisdom tree, uranium and nuclear energy, crude oil, and silver leverage, right? As you can see, silver is currently up 26%, wisdom tree, crude oil 2%, and then we have 5% on the uranium nuclear, and already am stop loss break even on silver, right? So I'm just gonna let it run. So these are my current positions, and the reason for that is that if there's something going to happen that is big, then the volatility index is going to spike, right? So that's the first one. Most likely you can only open an option. So I have an option open on volatility index, right? The second one, which is very, very important to understand, is today we have the court decisions in about 8 minutes, right? So something big might happen here in this call or on this recording of this very video right now. But we have the court's decisions today. And the court decision is hopefully going to happen today. They postponed it 2 times, probably going to postpone it again. And today's Supreme Court is scheduled opinions for today, Friday, right? And what they want to talk about is the tariffs, right? Are the tariffs going to be unwinded and need to be paid back, or are they legit? And if they are unwinded, then the Dixie will drop, right? And as you can see, Dixie has gotten a little bit of strength. Dixie is the US dollar index, which therefore shows us the strength or the weakness of the US dollar. Right now, we got a little bit stronger. But if something like that happens, so if the court decision comes out today around that, probably not. But if it comes out then or next week, right, that means the tariffs will be unwinded. So they need to be paid back. So this will drop a lot. And if Dixie drops, metals goes up, right? Because we trade everything in the US dollar. And the same goes for BTC, right? BTC right now is sitting at 67,000. As you can see, I'm in a call, in an IBIT call, right? That's what I'm trying to say. So As you can see here, IBIT call, IBIT. I'm currently a little bit in minus, a little bit in drawdown, 12%, but I am iShares Bitcoin Trust ETF long, right? I have a 2.54K position open, right? That's my biggest loss I can have in this position. And I'm currently longing BTC, right? It doesn't really look good so far, but if Dixie should drop due to the court decisions either today in a couple of minutes or next week, because it will happen, but most likely it will be postponed. Why? Because of Iran situation, right? It has more focus right now. Then this should start also to react. And we are building a good flow over here. So that's what I like to see. We are starting to build a flow over here, as you can see, a support in that sense, right? If you want to call it that. So it's definitely legit to do something here. Historically, BTC has always corrected lower, and that's a 70 to 80% correction, which means we would go to 30K per BTC. That really depends on the market, how it's going to unfold right now. If we have favorable market conditions, we might go up first. But in the past, multiple times, we have always dropped around 70, 80%. Last time we dropped from 69 to lowest 14K. And here the same thing, if you go from the top or you take Fibonacci, here's the 78% to 82% correction, which would be a total 80% correction, obviously. And from where we are sitting right now, this would be an additional 61%. So we still have this possibility open. I think we're going to have a pullback. And with favorable market conditions, especially with the Dixie, because if Dixie drops, then these assets, risky assets, tend to go up. And then therefore, obviously, also oil. And that's why I'm in oil. And oil is a combination and more focused on Iran war. So we have two big events, as you can see right now. We have the most likely outcome of a war or invasion from US into the Iran. And then the second one is the court decisions on the tariffs, right? So these ones would lead for a weaker dollar and to a weaker dollar, especially the court decision, which then would move Bitcoin, would move gold. That's why we are in gold right now. As you can see, I have many positions open. That's currently my biggest main position. We have 276% profit in gold so far. We have 2 gold calls. As you can see, this one, I have 6,000 SL. And then we have another one, which I re-entered after stability was shown with 3,900. So I'm pretty heavy on gold right now. Right now, I don't have any other additional gold positions here, the 3x leverage, but silver therefore, right? And then nuclear energy, where I have my biggest portion, right? So gold, in my opinion, pretty bullish, especially if tariff unwinds. Because of a weak dollar, then gold will rally. Same goes for silver, obviously. Silver will be very interesting right now because we are coming to the EMA 200 and to the VWAP of the last high. So this area could be a lot of resistance, and we might get a lot of resistance here and chop. But I'm pretty positive because if you look at gold, gold managed it perfectly fine. Gold just broke through the VWAP. As you can see here, that's the red line, the same we have in silver, which basically comes from the low, right? So that's a bearish correction level in that sense. And as you can see, we easily broke through it with a volume candle, came back, retested, and then from there we're bouncing off. So I think that pretty much the same is going to happen on silver. But if you're entering, maybe look for a quick retest. Right, if it a pullback, from here when it tests the EMA 200 and the VWAP, right? But I'm still, as I said, even after this big crash, and I made a big video about that, right? And I actually can go with you into the channel right now, and then I can also show you. So for one, we have the value video channel, right? Which is just Miguel V's, okay? Here, again, here we have all of the videos that are around value, right? As you can see, new one is coming. They want you out of crypto. Then I've made 54K as gold and silver crash. So we spoke about, especially here, that I'm still bullish on gold and silver and what exactly happened in this whole silver crash, right? And then this one, we predicted the 65K drop. Here's the BTC buy signal. That's the one I unfortunately uploaded into the wrong channel, which should have been the one we are on right now, which is Miguel V's Crypto and Trading, right? So this one is where we do on-chain analysis and chart analysis, and we go into tools. We speak about the charts, right? So here this video is going to come up. So make sure to follow both anyways, okay? So in this video, again, I spoke about why I'm still bullish. And then we have, at the end of the day, these main positions, right? So going back to Twitter where we started, VIX long, I shorted Tesla, just also for you guys to know, it's still in entry range, but I shorted Tesla because at the end of the day, it looks pretty bearish, right? At the same time, I have my second desk here, which is cheddar flow, which tracks all of the options coming in. And we have a lot of negative, so put options on Tesla, right? So Tesla, you can see, and we'll speak about all open positions again, okay? We go over it so you guys can follow, okay? Tesla, again, I'm shorting, as you can see, my entry sitting at 416, 415. Currently a little bit in profit, right? We are breaking the value low over here. And C target for Tesla would be around 335. But I think then if we drop that far, we're going to go to 300, 296, 297. And from there continue, which is the bullish correction level, right? Which you can see, we already touched one sequence finish. We came back into the re-entry. We cannot break a new high. There's a lot of put flows coming in, so a lot of sells. And as you can see, we are respecting the VWAP and the EMA 200. We are dropping off that. So there needs to be fundamentally something very crazy for Tesla to happen. There's a lot of puts, again, a lot of put volume. And that's why we are selling Tesla. So going over all positions currently open, right? As you can see, once more, Bitcoin, I am in a call option. I am longing BTC right now, right? It's more on the risky side, but I think technically it makes sense. If Dixie drops, it also makes sense, right? We are longing US oil, especially because of Iran, right? And even without Iran, technical levels lie at 70, right? So if Iran comes, or Iran happens in that sense, right, to make it easy, then we might break even higher. Top analysts say around 80 to 90, which would be insane, especially for my oil position, right? Because I am in 3x leveraged. But technical targets sit at 70, right? So if there's no Iran, nothing, de-escalation, we probably might drop again or even still finish it now just because of the hesitation of what's going to happen the next 9 days, right? And we're going to hit this technical level. Then I am long silver, right? As you guys know, very, very heavy on silver. Even one of my first positions somewhere over here at 40, 35, I still run some of them, right? But I re-entered again, as you can see here in these yellow lines, and we are doing pretty well. So this one will be very, very interesting, right? Then we have gold. Gold again, we already spoke about it. Gold is holding very, very stable, bouncing off the EMA, broke the VWAP bearish, which is very, very bullish, and targets technically is at 5.7 and even higher, right? So 5.7 is a technical level. That would be an increase from current price standpoint to C target of 14%. Then we have copper. I'm also in copper, 3x leverage, right? As you can see here, IBKR. Where is it? I'm a little bit in a drawdown. Let's switch to this view. Stock view is a little bit easier. You can see here, VT copper daily leverage 3x, right? So I'm a little bit in a drawdown. Then we have XPT, which is platinum, sorry. Platinum, I'm also long. I'm just now coming into profit slightly because I was a little bit in drawdown and I have an open option on platinum, which is, where is my platinum position? First American Finance, Palantir, iShares, here, physical platinum, right? As you can see over here. Oh, it's physical. So I bought it was 4K before, I think. No, it was around 3 point something K. That's not an option. No, it is an option actually. There we go, sorry. So you can see here, I have a physical platinum shares option open call, stop loss 3.5K. And then also we have a new stock that I enter currently, which is Circle Internet Group, which is the company behind USDC. And the most profitable company in the world is USDT right now, right? So USDC is outperforming USDT in volume because they are more legit. They are being used in more exchanges. And as you can see, CRCL has dropped a lot. We finished the bearish sequence, and from here on, it's a buy. You're getting cheaper prices than on the IPO, right? On the initial public offering or even on the private offering, probably, right? As you can see here, very cheap prices. So it just makes sense technically, just makes sense because it's fundamentally a very strong company. Then I am longing First American Corporation. I got some insider information that I'm tracking on here on this one, which is Finviz. And as you can see, I just asked ChatGPT to go over all of these new openings of positions. And as you can see here, very aggressive insider buying in First American Financial VF. 50,000 shares, 4 million plus, which is one of the director. The director, Parker Kennedy, right, bought 4 million, is currently pretty heavy in drawdown, but he keeps holding it. So that's very interesting for me to see. So it's also a call option, so long. Then here on trading 212, as you can see, I entered here Wisdom Tree Uranium and Nuclear Energy, which is basically this position over here, which is 7%, 6%, nearly 7% in profit right now, okay? So there's, my opinion, still an entry. If you want to take it, welcome. Obviously, always your decision, no financial advice over here, right? That's just what I'm doing as a pro trader and investor. So then we have Palantir, which I sold. It's a more riskier one because my entry is not that perfect. I bought, excuse me, because we are still in the bearish sequence, but we are in BC correction level and we are reacting in the BC correction level. So my my position here is a long. I'm in a call option, but I might close this position if nothing happens soon, and would somewhere close around here at this red line, which would be my stop loss. If we break this structure, then we most likely are going to finish C target at 100, and I'm going to re-enter later and book in a little loss, but that's okay, right? Palantir has a lot of call volume, so a lot of buy volume, okay? Then we have TACK, right? Which is Tech Resources, which basically is focused on miners, right? It's a mining company with different miners in gold, silver, and especially copper, right? And they still have a lot of potential. As you can see, C target lies at 105. So from here on, it would still be an increase of 80%. It just gives me a little bit more of a diversified entry in the metals because I don't want to just hold the pure physical metals as I do with silver and gold and copper and platinum, but I actually want to have a more risk off setting, which is then going for gold miners or companies like TACK, right? So TACK, I was waiting for an entry, didn't come. We see a lot of stability. Most likely we're going to get overextension because we had a lot of stability and now really break these highs and go further than that, right? Many people are very afraid to enter stocks once they break the last high because they think, oh, we're going to drop, we are so high. But what most of the times happens, if a stock breaks the old structure, it just continues to rally, right? So if you see a break like this, it doesn't always mean like in Forex or somewhere else where you most likely are going to get a return. No, it most likely is going to build up a sideways trend like we see here, right? And build accumulation to go higher. And what speaks for that in price action, which I love to see, is something like this, where you can see the highs become higher. The lows become higher, right? The highs don't really become higher, but the lows at least, right? And the highs are pretty similar. So I like to see that because that's pressure towards the upside. Then Tesla we spoke about, Wix we spoke about, and then we have Xiaomi, right? XIACY, right? XIACY is in a re-entry 50% correction level. We are reacting out of it. I have bought stocks, so I'm not holding an option because it's Shanghai, I guess, and I cannot trade Shanghai. But as you can see here, I have $10,000 in, right? And we're still a little bit in drawdown, so nothing wrong with that. And still an entry, right? If you want to do your own due diligence, check it out. So these are my all of my open positions right now, right? Again, it is, let me see, there's one position that I saw. I'm also in UNG, US Natural Gas Fund, with 10K, right? I forgot about this position, to be very honest. I'm sorry for that. US Natural Gas Fund. So US Natural Gas Fund, I am longing natural gas basically, with 10K in. I entered somewhere over here on this blue line. It's the POC, but that's somewhere where I entered. And we're a little bit lower, but let's see how it goes. I will reevaluate this position because, to be very honest, it slipped my mind that I entered this position. But US Natural Gas Fund, UNG, I am in with 10K. I know that I know that I wanted to enter, but I actually forgot that I entered, right? So it's a profit, but nothing big. So UNG, natural gas could be a good play too. So I will keep this open, and if there is more reaction towards the upside and we actually start to react bullish and really break these last structures, then I might consider entering with a call option. But right now I rather just hold the stock because we are still a little bit unstable. But I also don't mind, not the stock, but the index or this fund here to drop another 20% and just hold it, right? Because the higher prices are going to come in. We have an active bullish sequence. It's at 8.2. We are currently sitting at 3. So this is nearly a 140%, right? So I'm definitely for this potential. I'm going to hold it and move it over here. So we don't forget that I actually had this position and I entered somewhere over here. Here was my entry. Okay, so I'm just gonna mark it out. Sometimes you just miss a trade. that you took trading, sorry, on IBKR. Okay, so these ones are all of the open positions right now. Where am I looking to get an entry? I'm looking at the BRZU, which is the Brazilian Bull 2x share, right? The Brazilian market is doing very well as an emerging market. A lot of volume after the gold and silver crash in that sense, right? Historical silver crash went into emerging markets like the Brazilian index and so on. Then Coinbase, once Bitcoin shows real direction, so once Bitcoin, in my opinion, starts breaking above its old high. So if we break this structure, actually bullish and activate the sequence. So if we break above 72, I might start to go in with a call option into Coinbase, right? I very much believe in Coinbase. I still have some money in Coinbase, even though it's, I'm holding it for a very long time. It's currently down 40%. It's only 3K. I made a lot of money in the past with Coinbase. As you can see, my first entry into Coinbase was at 72 and I took it up to, I think, somewhere over here, 400%, 500%. So I 5x, 4x my money. Then I am looking into the direction daily CSI China International Bull X2, which is the Chinese market. So I'm waiting for this bearish sequence to finish. Also here, when it comes to emerging market, could be very interesting since we missed Brazil index. Then we have Robinhood. Robinhood is in a re-entry, also very interesting to buy. I was just waiting also for a dynamic shift and we kind of start to see that, right? So what I want to see when we just drop and drop and drop and drop, I want the market to shift its dynamic from just going down to starting to react, right? So after coming down, I wanted to start to slow out a little bit, and then after the accumulation phase, go into a distribution phase again. And right now it seems like we are in an accumulation phase. Now, distribution can either continue towards the downside or upside. Upside is what we want. So what I'm doing is I'm just waiting a little bit, especially for a DFB, for a break, right? So either one thing we can do is we could have a first DFB over here once we break this structure, or even, for example, then this one over here, right? Which we had a lot of wicks in. So I want to see a break. I want to see a retest, something like this. So this would be then our sequence model, right? With Elliott wave. And then I would enter somewhere over here. So that's what I want to see, okay? So I have a little bit more confirmation that there's actually bullish interest and something is coming in. But that's what I'm focused on right now. And I don't want to see a break, right? I don't want to see a break towards the downside, only towards the upside. So something like this could be very nice. If we break this with volume, come back, retest it, come back here, hold it, retest it, and then here somewhere would be my entry, or here if you want to have it a little bit risky, or here if you want more confirmation, right? You can enter right away. Robinhood is an insanely big company. We can check if there's actually volume coming in. Let's see if I can find it. Filters. Is there anything on Robinhood? Probably I'm not gonna find it like that. Let's see if I find it here in the flow overview. As you can see here, bullish flow on Shell today, insane. So I think insiders know that there's gonna happen something with Iran, guys, because all of the buying, everything that's happening, sell SPX, like the SPX got so much sells. And you can see here, most active flow today is Shell. Which is very, very interesting. So let's just switch to the beginning of the month to today. You can see Palantir, that's why we're buying, big buying volume. And then we have, there's no hood. But yeah, I think Robinhood makes a lot of sense, right? So if we go back to today, today is the 20th. Shell, yeah, it just makes sense. They know something. They know something with Iran, and it has to do with oil and energy. And that's why I am very long metals, and I'm especially long oil and nuclear energy. So that's going to be very, very interesting. Okay. But so here I'm going to wait for re-entry. Then we have MSTR, which MicroStrategy finished bearish sequence, is showing exactly what I want to see. And I just showed you in Robinhood is we came into the C target, finished the bearish sequence, cleared all bearish targets, and from now on we are building the structure. So what I want to see is a break of this frequency line and then enter, right? So that's going to be very interesting. Then we have PayPal. Also very good, especially what we are just speaking about. Perfect example where we are actually breaking, and you can see here my indicator, my smart money indicator already shows me change of character. We are breaking the old structure, right? If we can hold above it, retest it, then I'm going to enter PayPal again. And these are the entries that I'm looking for, right? Right now, I already have a lot of positions open, and I'm just seeing here on the screen, there's more SPX sells and puts coming in. Very mixed, but mostly bearish. Today, very mixed, but mostly bearish. Nvidia, people are going very long Nvidia. So if we check Nvidia, for example, people are longing Nvidia very heavy, and I already marked out the break, right? Once we see a break of this structure, I will consider to probably go in, right? So something like this here, this is the DFS, to adjust it a little bit to this point, right? So if we break this, then I'm in and longing too. C target for Nvidia is from now on sitting at a whopping 77%, so a lot of potential. So, and you can see how beautifully we are touching the EMA, right? And we are not breaking, and you can see that, for example, Nvidia has a lot of institutional buying anyways. Let me just see Nvidia, where the so for example here, when you go into hedge follow, you can go into the top hedge funds, and you can check their positions, and you can see they have a lot of positions in Nvidia, right? Largest hedge fund, largest buys, let me see. So we have iShares TR, we have Nvidia, right? So Nvidia has a total value bought of 38.9 billion, with Vanguard with 8, BlackRock with 2.7, Citadel with 2.2, right? Vanguard holds 8 billion worth of Nvidia. Then we have obviously Microsoft, so all of the chips, all of these kind of things, we know this is going to go through the roof. So we just want to find a very good entry, right? EVV is iShares TA, which is the S&P, I'm pretty sure. Just like an index. Yeah, perfect. So yeah, Nvidia, we definitely need to check. I mean, depending on my positions, how they will go now, I will re-enter Nvidia. So let's move Nvidia here, and then let's see if I have anything else. No, that's basically it. We need to speak about the S&P quickly, because there is so much sell volume coming into the S&P. It's insane, right? It doesn't look so good in my opinion, especially what you can see here. This candle is hardcore buy suppression. We are suppressing the buyers. We are coming in with the sellers very strong, and we might see a break of structure here on the S&P and have a big correction. So that's the only thing that I'm a little bit hesitant on stocks right now. If not, I would have already entered Nvidia and some of the other ones I have. I have exposure in long-term fundamentally strong companies where I think fundamentals could overweigh S&P crash, but it seems pretty much like the S&P is dropping. Here we just had another SPY, so SPX coming in, 210k premium, it's a buy, and we have a silver call for 285. But silver sees a lot of strong inflows and outflows, mostly positive inflows. If you check, if we go here to the options, you can see we have SPY buys coming in, calls, just because we are at the low right now. But if you go for silver and you actually check, we have mostly bullish. We have about 7.9 million call flow and 1.7 million put flow. Silver, there's good calls coming in. For example, there was one that I was tracking that is insane. It was, I don't know if it's going to show here, but a couple of days ago, there was 2 buys worth of 36 million, which is insane, right? So yeah, at the end of the day, guys, this is the whole setup. I explained you why, what am I doing, my positions, the ones that I'm looking for. This was an unconventional full market update, and we're going to do this once a week because, again, just doesn't make sense for me to just update you on BTC if I'm making money somewhere else. I, in the past, wanted to do strictly crypto, but again, I'm where the volume is, and right now you can see I'm more in metals, I'm more in energy, I am more in in stocks, and that's why we are switching this over a little bit. So I also have something interesting to do with you guys, and you can follow alongside. Okay, with that being said, guys, make sure to ask anything you want in the chat. Make sure to like, follow, and comment on both YouTube channels. Massive value incoming weekly basis. Again, sorry for the miss on this channel, but you know what's up. So see you in the next one.